Hi everyone, it's Jen from Mindseye. It's been a little bit, and so let's figure this out. It has been quite the summer, but we're all getting ready back to school. I can see like a summer cold ran right through this house. But when it seems like everyone wants to forego their own, or just to get a clue of what's going on out here in Connecticut, there really is no fire starter. It really is the Ace of Wands in reverse. And then you have this Six of Cups, it looks like, but really it's this Four of Cups and it has the rat. It literally is like slew. Where's the rat running around up here in Connecticut? But basically, all you need to know that everything is new. Everything is new. Everything is like a form of heresy. Everything is a form of what to do about it. But as we go through, like you just can't see it, like really, really hard, really, really hard. Now let's look and ask the cards exactly what's going on. What do we need to know? Here it is. Something actually like escalated forward to do like a DUN, and like you can't spell anything. Like when you actually see it, I feel like it actually will pop the country off. But I'm really not like seeing it hard on like into the press because it is hard on press. It's something that's surprising about the car accident with Tesla. Like once it's in there, like oh, like there it is. That's what it needs to know. But basically, what you need to know about this Seven of Cups in reverse is that it really is like a grandiose thought of what had happened. And when you see it, you're like, are you sure? Are you positive? You gotta go check. It gives a lot of unrest. This is the Four of Swords. And when you see this, it has this type of like giving, like an offering, a type of inhibition of a go for it and like do it and like do it done. Do it done. And when you see it, you go, there's no logic in this. The Mother of Swords goes, were you really thinking about that? So when I look at it and I see this Daughter of Swords, it's really young offerings that come in quick. And swords is air energy. When I see this and I see the Mother of Pentacles, I go, I think there's actually something to this. It really, really is. Because you can't even like pick up a piece of paper and saying, what are they doing with that? It's really tense. There's a type of recklessness that happened. And I mean, you could definitely see it. And it really had to do with like when I'm looking at Capitol Hill in DC, the way if they're seeing coins and seeing money, it was like a securement. It was like a type of like a reticence, which is an old form of like a retribution pay. The Emperor in reverse means there really was toxic like masculinity, but I'm seeing it more as like nasty health through and through. When I see this and I go like balance, temperance, it really did even out. It really did. But it's actually weak coming in, weak with that strength card. When I see the Daughter of Wands, it is like a spitfire up when I see it. Wands is fire energy. When I see this, it was foreseen, it was planned, it was a to do, it was a go to go, it was go ahead and do it, it was well. And then all of a sudden, you go, the Five of Wands in reverse is like a lesson, like an actual school lesson in difficulty. Like this is like absurd and heinous. When I see this Nine of Cups, it's not happy review. Like you almost can't even say the true meaning of the Nine of Cups. So let's look at another deck. What is going on? Because you see healthcare and you see this reform and you see how it all plays out. And the biggest topic on everything is, what should it do? So let's actually look at the poker cards. What do we need to know? Because, what I know and what I studied a little bit, that there really is already a law. all right through legislature about vaccines, and it really is free will choice, and it really is like up through policies and procedures on what is true. So, does policy procedure with the COVID vaccine, mandated and not mandated, with CDC guidelines and pediatricians right now? This Queen of Diamonds means there's like a cutout, and it's usually like a 2 to 8 p.m. It like came in really sharp and hard. It really is a diamond cut effect, which means it is something of like a go and a glow of a flow of a fold. And when you see it and you see this 7 of spades, you go, no. It's a type of grouping and regrouping about it. But when I see this 8 of diamonds, like you look at their eyes and they're like, I don't think you should. I don't think you should. When I see this and I see this 5 of hearts, I go, uh, what is that? It literally is like me like picking up on things all day long like this. And I have to show. So when you see it and you go, is it legal? Is it lawful? It is. It's legal and lawful. But basically all you need to know is like the 5 of hearts is like sitting in the office of the pediatricians and everyone's on the same page. The Queen of Hearts goes outside, they're on the same page too. The 2 of spades goes, no, the cars are going past and are like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. We're not doing this whatsoever. So when I see this and I see the 3 of clubs, they literally actually go and like to their places where they hang out and they say, we need to have this discussion about this. Like, I can't believe this happened. When I see this and I see the 9 of clubs, I go, actually, I don't think much like hanging out anymore. When I see the King of Diamonds, I go, it's right there. It's right in Capitol Hill. So when I see this and I see the 6 of clubs, the energy, it really is like billfolds. So basically all you need to know is rights. Rights goes down to types of religious law. And when you go down to religious law, you actually sit and say, I actually have the right to remain silent and I have the right to speak. I have the right to act. I have the right to show you because I can't get it out right. So when I look at it and I go, there's something not right and you can't see it, you go, no, hold the phone right now. And you go and you pick it up and you go, no, you can't see it coming. It is so hard that you actually can't review it whatsoever. So when I see it and I go, there it is. When you actually look at the COVID vaccine and the pediatrician goes, it's like basically like a flu vaccine, a pneumonia vaccine. It's optional. It's up to your discretion. So when your children say, I want it, are you more of clear, sound mind and rational thought and reality, grounded in reality? Or are they at that moment? Or are they in a trend? Because we're still trying to figure out what was going on with law enforcement and all the that. So what is it going on with law enforcement and the deaths? Because we just don't know it. This was nasty, heinous. Nasty, heinous. What do we need to know? Right here. There was something about the Emperor in reverse. Toxic masculinity. I'm seeing like through, it's a male. It's a block on it though. It's a hard block on it. You can't like explain it. When I see this, it was like a halt stop. It's the Chariot in reverse. And it goes to the 7 of cups. Like you're not looking at everything. Like you're not there. And then when you see this, you go to Queen of Wands in reverse. They sit well, like they're doing pretty well. What is the policy at school? So none of the policies and all the buildings are matching. So if you go to one nursing home, it is. So what it is, they just do like right in the middle, just take the vaccine. But that's against my, and there's the ethical question. When it goes down to that, you got to look at legislature. So when you look at legislature, it basically says like, be it known, just be it known that you actually are in ownership of your mind, body, and soul, and that you have a free will choice. So when I see it and I see the star in reverse, it's not fulfilled wishes. And I'm seeing like and hearing tink tank, tink tank, tink tank. That basically means like what's coming in. Now, it's going to be counterintuitive. Something is saying right through these cards, but let's take another look. Because it's just like, how can you pull that out of one? That's usually the work of a magician, a real magician who is clean and sober. They can see it really hard. Now, when I see it hard, I see that it will, in a month of January of an unknown year, it'll come right back. The moral, ethical question after the cartel and all of it have come through. I definitely see flu season like escalated higher with pneumonia. I do see more issues with domestic disputes. I do see more families actually saying that it was like done. When you see this, when you see it's like absolute recklessness all of a sudden, like the animosity was so bad, even in here. They have to say, I think I need to actually get it out again in my own way. So like we were talking about, like we're going into the new moon and we're going into the black new moon, which means you're not going to see it. It was not nice. And like I've explained in other videos that, the Lionsgate portal was more feminine energy, and it was like, go and manifest the best that you can. And when that happened, masculine energy with the sturgeon full moon locked it down the right next day. And then you actually like boil it out. If you understand astrology, it is a conjunction to a conjuncture to almost up to a jurisdiction issue of where you need to go in your life. That's what makes it heinous in the month of November. So seeing it and seeing this, the King of Swords, it's about contracts. It's about nasty, like, and think outside the box. Any form of military. It could be like a community watch. It could be anything. Like think outside the box. And when you see this, you see the four, like something is secure. Something is secure. When you look at this and you go, I don't really like how you're doing. Is it forming a gang? Are gangs bad? Are affiliates bad? You have to actually say it. You really do. You really, really do. So let's actually look. Historically, what I know growing up, as growing up in the 90s, especially with the crime families running around, it's not foretold and it's not foreseen and it's not for old. For FORE, for old. That's something that Whitey Bulger actually said. And when you actually look at it and you go, you can't do it enough to the highest end of a mark, you go, this 22 on little Normand with the Queen of Diamonds goes, go for it. Like, go for the world. Like, just like aim for it and do the best you can. But you're going to have stops and blocks and limitations. So when you see this and you see the number 32 with the 8 of hearts, with the dusk, you literally look at everything. They're like so superstitious where you go, you can't even believe how hard it was to see it through. When you see this and you go, the 25 with this ring, with the clubs, you go, where was the marriage? Where was this marriage when the Gambinos were caught in Long Island? over marijuana. So lastly, this card goes to, the Ace of Hearts with this gentleman, this piece of mail that he's holding with the number 28. It means go for it and go like old and go like gold with it, because you just can't understand like how it would keep happening. It is free will choices. It was a free will choice. But what I'm seeing as a psychic when I'm looking at Long Island at that big mansion, like they walked in, like you can't even like look at it hard and you go, all they said was the marijuana was good. And then they were indicted. Here it is. Now, the biggest issue going into holistic is this. We'll look at the wood runes. That it's not still federally regulated. When you see this, it's highly defensive over it. It will literally torch you if they're smoking it. Doesn't matter what kind it is. When you see this and you go, no, you got to see it to believe it. Joy, absolute joy. When you look at this and you go, hidden games with it. That's why a lot of people don't like it. But so then you have the issues with the crime families as it played out. And then you had the medical marijuana, which actually, as me as an experienced nurse for the last 14 years, I'd have to say that literally you can't even do it at all. Like at all. But you can't put it on the med list, even if they have a medical card. And because it goes through federal audit. So when you see this and you go instinct to the living and you go Degas, which is rune, it really means like the bomb of all bombs, and that's so solid. You go, how did they gain like everything down to a cutout? Because some actually are like razor blades when they speak. When I look at this and I go, you can't really see it coming, but you can't do at all. You really can't even see it. The strength, the power of this, the flow, like the lake effect from this goes like FO, like Foo Fighters. And then all of a sudden they're right there and you see their tongue. Now, going into homes, because we had the incident with the murder of one nurse out here while I was out in the field, was Joyce Grayson. And God rest her soul. And it was pretty heinous, and we were unable to get into the house for like 3 days. 3 days. We didn't know what was going on with Dimas. When she was a visiting nurse, and she was doing like a form of like a return of care. And this gentleman came through and you couldn't even see it coming. And you can look up the details out here, like NBC Connecticut, any of the articles, Joyce Grayson. And everything was like locked through. So all you need to know is that it's really hard. Like you almost had to be super psychic, super intuitive and instinctive, and highly skilled to understand what was going on, why we couldn't get into that house. When you see this and you go highly dictative to sourceful to psychic, like what was this guy doing? Because our question on the table is like blister packs and polypharmacy, which means more than 15 meds at once that they take in a 24-hour period. And then you go, where is this concocting? Like, I think you need to get off the meds, that we used to say. But that's what the family would say. We'd say, is there any signs that maybe we can cut down this med list? And the doctor's like, no, we can't. And you go, oh my God, here it is. It's right on the table. So really, you're not supposed to see it. This is just two of swords. You're not supposed to see it because of HIPAA, because of Freedom of Information Act. No, it's already known. Like, that's why the DEA is out there. That's why we have certain areas that you can do a Dropbox. So when you look at it and you go to the Queen of Cups, you go, you have to be highly intuitive up to gold standard to rule of thumb. And it had to do about greed. That's what I'm saying. To the point of a lockdown. And it's going to cause like a lot of anxiety. So when you see this and you go Four of Wands in reverse, you go, wow, this is like how bad it was. Like, you can't celebrate. We out here in Connecticut, where and when it happened, out in Willimantic and Windham and Talon County, we're like, why is this coming out of, like, and then you see this, they're like, no, they're honorable. Like, they have a good military record. This gentleman, he came out of a Department of Corrections. He's a sex offender. And everyone goes, yep, there it is. So when you see on like CNN and all of it that they are sex offenders and they're allowed to sit a little bit longer, and then you can't make an immediate arrest, you go, keep pulling the cards, Jennifer, keep pulling the cards. Why couldn't we? Why couldn't? Because it was literally everything and anything is something and nothing. So what I remember about that day is all was going about. I had to go to the doctors. I wasn't well. I was coughing. It was like a bronchial pneumonia. And then almost like how I'm presenting right now. And when you see it and you go right in the area, I was working in that area. Yes, I am one. So when you see it, you see it's coming right in, and you say mother and father healing. It has to do with like generations, and it has to do with a hold, and then it has to do with a what up, and then a weight up, and then water. So when you see light language and you see this, it's almost like la 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 la, ta-da. And how our day like started, what I remember, because I like normally like I will quickly look at everything. I was having terrible days as a visiting nurse. I like, you couldn't, like, you had to like see the patients, even if it was over your scheduled time. And like, you had to clock in, but then you had to stay on the clock, and then you got yelled at because you're in overtime. So that is this. We're all up to date now on how it is in societies. Probably still to this day, because I haven't been on the clock in 4 years. So, going into one, and one is like, he had multiple arrests in the area. And then as a nurse, you go, I don't think that we should maybe go towards this incident at this house. And then you hear, maybe you have PTSD. And you go, no, I can feel it. I feel okay. But I'm going to do precautions. Can you please call me when you get in the house, and when like you arrive at the house, and when you can call as a field partner? And then you go, no, what you see this and this is like anyone who is Native American, this is like a totem pole. When you start linking it to animals, like, I see the animal and I understand the incident evolving and revolving. So when you look at this and you go, the fox to the lion to the cheetah to the mouse to the lizard, I couldn't even believe it. We had a water monitor loose from Massachusetts down, running around in Thompson, Connecticut, out of like Webster. And then all of a sudden I'm like, I don't know why I keep hearing and seeing like snake. Let me tell you, anyone who's ever worked in the public, they can throw energy and ding you to where you're like cracked open, but you're not on crack cocaine. So they all think you're crazy. So when you see this and you see boundaries, let it go. It's not yours to carry. And then seeing potential, bringing unconscious into light. Like what is new? And then you see NU to DU to BU. Nobody can spell. Why can't you spell? This is odd. Maybe you need a neuro consult. And I go, nope, I don't need a neuro consult because I was clear when I said I saw it come into my house in my own way. It was like the worst premonition aura, like ghosts running around. Everyone thinks they're dead, but they're not. We haven't seen that since 1991 with Tupac and Biggie. So when you see it and you go, stop, embrace the winter cosmic moon, there really was nothing going on in the winter. Nothing after it had happened. So when you see this and you see surrender holding the opposite extremes of life, the usual, like what we were experiencing around like 5 to 10 of us was about like forgetfulness and really not taking care of ourselves and out of our routines. But when we had a CAT scan, we had clear sound mind. Here we go. What do we need to know about Joyce Grayson? Because this is actually pretty like hard, really, really hard. So we went for marijuana. We went with medical marijuana. And then we go, hold on, like nobody's really talking to me. Not even in my own house. Like, why don't they want to talk to me? It has to do with about bravery and it has to do with about humanity. It has to do about like something opening and like revelations, like they open up a journal, like someone passed away and you're like, oh my God, they did this. So looking at it this way, fate. It was not planned. It was not anything of that nature whatsoever. It was like on a whim, but I feel like it was written fate, which is actually destiny. Is it a soul contract? Healing. Where did that come from? Healing. Fate. Healing. What do we need to know? It was literally white dress. It means appearances, society, gender, like keeping up appearances. It was like knowing about something that like on the back end, on the back, on your back, like a post-it note on your back. Dishonesty. And then you like see your friends and all of it and you go, why are they so haywire? And I can't get this medical test and like everything is clear, but it's just not right. It like all of a sudden happens all at once. And then you're, yeah, we're going on deployment. Oh, okay. You're gonna do it again? Yep. We're gonna go. Second, first, I'll join in. And I'll be a bae. When you see this and you go, the world like completing cycles, like people were not allowed for some reason in the United States, to they're showing me the Universal Collective, not allowed during this time with Joyce Grayson and other things with the nurses and the issues, because then we had Lake and Riley, our nursing students. And when you see this and you see the Four of Wands, they couldn't even have like a rush, like sorority rush. So when I see this and I see the Knight of Cups, it was emotional, like offerings. Like you could do this and you had a lot of options and you could do it. And you go, I don't think so. When you see this and you go, this is really like hurt. And you hear other like friends like, I feel like something's going to happen. Really? I'm just going to call and check on them because I felt it. And they're like, no, nothing is going on. When you see this, it's like really, really pertinent, highly dishonorable. Something came through that was highly dishonorable in the last like 5 years. This is definitely the kick up of the tick up of a pickup to the ticker tape. King of Pentacles. It was money, it was contracts on the table, like it was already known. Just go and do it. It's like contingency report. And you have to say, what's a contingency? They're known criminal, like it's already known, like you have to go over and police them still. I mean, they're chronic criminals, like they don't want to reform. You don't want to, we can't, because on the basis of reform, they're allowed to do this act. Is it an act? And that's where it's still illegal. It caused unrest to the point where you actually are looking at these universities and you're saying, is this what they've been talking about in the underground patriot movement? Where like they're cannibals and Satanists and that they're doing heinous crimes. They're like, that's against my religious affect. So then you see this is like, this is not what I want to remember. I don't know. But basically all you need to know, like all is known, but you can't spell it still, like N-O-W-N. When you see this and you go to the star in reverse, unfulfilled wishes, to no contracts, because no, you're supposed to be on computer. That's true. To the point where I say, go ahead and do that drink, go to the strip club, go do everything because you're going to go, and go take the government travel cards and go down and fly down and spend money that you're not suspend. And they're like, suspend her. Why? It happened in like so many areas to the point where you go, was this actually happening in your house or was it true? No, I literally picked up on it as a psychic. Are they putting words in your mouth? I don't know. This is how you know they're putting words in your mouth. People and on camera. And they like blink really hard. And you can't even see it. Really, really hard. So it looks really hard to actually do. But you just can't see it. So you see this, the architect and the scribe. It's like sit, watch, document. Sit, watch, document. Nope, free will choices. Nope, no. Don't do it. Yep. Why aren't they intervening? How dare you? How dare you? No, we gotta do something about this now. Both are correct. I have to say the public was correct on popping off, not to the point of extremism, but also law enforcement, military were right also, because we just didn't know where it was. So when you see this and you go, everything was up in the air and it was something of a build. So I'm looking at the church that collapsed in New London, Connecticut, on how they have a lawsuit. That's usually cause and effect. But there's something written, though, that was built in. I'm looking at the bricks and the rubble. I have to say, I don't think it's a really good idea that you sue them. And you go, is that matter of fact? Exactly, matter of fact. And that's how hard it is. It looks like you're absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. That you just know it all. Know it all. So I went and I looked and he said you can't. And it's like karmic trench. Yep. When you see this and you go waterfall, absolutely. It like, I don't know why. And whenever I see this, I see Tesla. The way it flows in. Grounding effect. Like you're coming down from flying. There's no initiation in. But when you look at it and you go initiation and the Count of Saint Germain, you have to say it's true. It really is true. When you see this and you see the views of the ego, there's no opposing force. But when you go about it in your own way and you do it, then you know it. You just say no because you already confirmed in your own way. Sometimes they don't have to be psychic. They really don't. But basically, you need to relax, like everything is fine. And you go, no, if not, historically, it usually is the women who are popping off first. I didn't know you know that. So when you see it and you go, the Queen of Roses, in like you can't, you do an offering, and you go, no, no, no. You can't even see it. Can't even see it. You got to be on the same page. Where is this treasure? So let's actually look at another deck. So I'm looking at this and I'm seeing far out as a psychic sky that something is a nothing. Black obsidian runes. Where does this have to go for the rest of the week? All right. It's going to come in really strong. I'm seeing a 2-3. I'm seeing this type of like torching, like tiki torch to the type of ashing. When I'm seeing this, I go, it really is like hold forth, hold forth. When you see this and you go, when you're driving around and it's really, really hard, you literally just have to say like freeze, like just watch, but also like exhibit prudency. See it, hear it, feel it, confirmed it. Like you just don't sit right, pick up the phone and just do. When you see this and it's a type of trolling, I actually see like Appalachian law. Appalachian law. When you go this and you go, nope, can't see it. You cannot see it. It's hidden. It's supposed to regain down. Maine. When you look at this and you go, no, not here, but way down there. Sit and rest and have a cup of tea and pace yourself. We don't know what happens in the public, but there's a lot more people who can't like claim that they truly were injured, that something is wrong, that they changed literally overnight. And then all of a sudden they say, there's really nothing that I can see. You're healthy. It's causing havoc. But then you have the hurricane. So let's actually look at the hurricane. What is this forecast? What do we need to know? Because the rest of these rooms really don't want to speak to us right now. Here we go. Living. Like a state. I'm really not seeing the shore. I'm seeing a line drive. I'm seeing baseball. I'm seeing the curve of the tide. I'm seeing actually rock actually like wash ashore, especially Hatteras. This faded broken rune literally means like, oh my god, like go and get it. When you have actually been through a storm, a hurricane, everything stands still. So right now we're having all of these crosswinds come in, whatever's from the Middle East and anything like people are changing overnight. Highly. When you go and you read about it, down to like read infusers, you go, is this a type of trolling that you can't understand? You actually look at a sword, like a samurai sword. I'm seeing one individual in the collective, and they're like, this is like a hidden game. Is this like anime or something like that? It's not sure. But when I see it, I'm seeing the trellis of the troll. I'm seeing that stone that we keep talking about in the other videos that is gaining moss now, but wasn't gaining moss. So a rolling stone gains no moss to the strength. So when you actually lee about it, like Li to Lee to Lea to Leigh, like that type of trolling, like lee about it. In Appalachia, that means highly defensive, like highly defensive. You can't see it, but there's something about being born. And when you go about it and you say, there really is something to it, and you go and you see it's like a strength, like a lightning strike right through you, to the freeze, to like the gift, to the wealth of everything. You'll see it on a Jeopardy. It's on. It really is on. So it's asking for like a second round, like the energy of tarot. What else is there to get out? What do we need to know? Something about a gift. A sharp ending, a death, unknown. You're not going to see it coming. I see 23, 24, and a 1-9, a 2 and a 1-9. Unknown month. It's in the news. I can hear down the street because they're listening to me. When you see this and you see the Knight of Pentacles, you go, it really is like a movement of a contract to a contractual matter, to a be it known. And then you see it's like deceitful, honestful, move on, I'll walk away. When you see this and you go to the Ace of Cups and you go, you gotta be so hard psychic to actually see it, to intuitive, to like epiphanies. And you're not going to really, because you're engrossed with everything else, and that's okay because that's what you're supposed to be doing. But it's still toxic, like nasty masculine energy, like wind energy. When you see it and you go, the Fool is actually a new journey, but the way that the cards are all pulling out is recklessness. That is the chaos that actually comes in. Like you're not supposed to know at all. One last deck. Dishonor. I'm seeing a judge, a court, a justice. I'm seeing balance. I'm seeing the death of a judge in Rhode Island recently. It's heinous out here in New England. There's no steel, and you go to it and you go through it and you go like this. And me growing up the way I was raised, you go, get it out. You go, there is this like addictive like offering of a passionate new beginning. Like it's legal, it's lawful. Like people actually do this. They actually do like a run, a legal lawful run, a clean sober run. When you do it, you go, can't even like forego it. When you see this and you see the Two of Swords, you're not supposed to see the crossroads to the railroads, to the yellow sign coming down. When you look at it and you go to the Six of Swords, it was a type of move on that was so heinous, nasty that you had to get it. You had to get it. When you look at it and you go, I don't think that's probably best to divorce, because they had a lot of deaths in law enforcement and military. And there was something about these trends about like everyone had to be divorced, everyone had to move on, and everyone had to do it. I had to say, I think you're going to be part of a federal investigation. When you see it and you go, absolutely not. When you see this Nine of Wands, it is a lookout like to the lighthouse. I'm seeing Maine, to a type of ending, energy ending. There was a type of source that came right from the woods. The Knight of Swords goes, the wind stopped. When you see the Page of Wands, you go, there it is. No impulses, no like healing. This is like a slowdown of healing. I hear this, I hear bugs. You're like, you gotta get it right on the show, but really it's freeform. But there's no show, no show, no show. And then all of a sudden you're like, who has an S8 show? Do I have to give a show so they don't take away my S8 show? Because I was living and I was paying my bills and I was doing everything right. But I didn't take care of it. You got sick and you got detriment and you can't claim it. Goodbye. See you later. And that was the argument everywhere. You're not gaining and gathering on me. You can't even see it right through on a way to a roux. And you go, you can't even rent sausage gravy to do a stick because you're Caucasian. Are you tariffed? That's so old down south. They're like, be careful on the day. Be careful on the day. Some people don't know that unless you encounter it and someone's actually kind to you. So when you see this, they're like, were you in the club or were you not? You go, don't do it. Don't do it. It's a sharp-edged knife. Here it is. Lastly, something still really wants to come through. What do we need to know? Closing it out. Be careful of like inhibitions, especially with the new moon coming in, because it's not like spilt tea or spilt milk. I do see a breaking of the glass of the milk. I do see it fall on the floor. I do see it lick up. A look up, not a lick up. And I go, it's not the victory you wanted. Literally, it's not the victory you wanted. So when you see this Two of Wands, you go, oh my God, you just can't even sue anyone. You cannot even sue anyone. It really is looking out the windows and sitting with a cup of coffee or a cup of tea and saying, I don't know when it's going to start, but it's going to happen soon because everything was a free will choice. And that's all you need to know. So with that being said, any questions or concerns, leave a like, a comment, a share, an email is greatly appreciated. Classes through the link tree and readings. And we will talk to you soon.